Hey Gemini, what's up guys? I hope everybody is well. So we're going to go ahead and do a what's healing for you, okay, or what's improving in your life. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and stick around. Gemini, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box because that's going to have all the information that you would need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you vibe, you tribe, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you are returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope that you're doing what's best for you. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this. So while I was shuffling, my hand started hurting, like right around this area. So for some of you guys, there could be like carpal tunnel or something like that. I definitely do get like physical ailments healing though with the sun. Like that was one of the first things that I thought when I saw that. Okay, look, health. There you go. Okay, Gemini. There is this energy here of your physical vessel healing in some type of way, Gemini. This is improving or this is getting better. Maybe you have just aches and pains. Who doesn't? Okay, who doesn't? But there could be this energy of something that's very like debilitating or it takes a lot out of you, Gemini. So I do feel like that is healing for sure. Okay. Also with the sun, I'm getting this energy of like your self-expression is healing. Maybe you haven't been able to, express yourself the way that you want to. I'm hearing my heart's a stereo. It beats for you, so listen close. Okay. I haven't actually really heard that whole song, but I've heard that version, that like verse so much that I know that by heart, okay? It seems catchy though, so I might have to listen to it. But yeah, for some of you guys, there's something like that, like your heart's a stereo, okay? And maybe you haven't been able to express yourself the way you want to, Gemini. That's just kind of what I'm getting, okay? Also, my heart's a stereo, it beats for you, so listen close. For some of you guys, I did see the Two of Cups with the Hangman while I was shuffling. There could be this energy here of wanting to heal something within a connection. Maybe you're feeling like thirsty for somebody, Gemini. I don't know. I am kind of getting that energy, and not like in a creepy way, but just like you miss their energy or you miss the good vibes. I don't know, because I'm feeling like all of a sudden putting lotion on my hands. Like my hands suddenly got really dry. Yeah, there could definitely be some kind of energy about like dermatology or skin or something like that that's healing, Gemini. Maybe psoriasis or eczema or something, okay? But yeah, I do get the energy of maybe being a little thirsty for somebody, okay? Or just thirsty for healing in general, all right? I'm also getting with the sun, like your mood, okay? Your overall sense of, like your overall disposition. Like maybe you've been grumpy, okay? Maybe you have been, not in the best of, moods and everything, or there's been a lot like of shadows or storms, okay? It feels like the sun is coming out in some situation, all right? Or just in general. Okay, let's pull something. What's healing? Okay. We have perseverance coming out. That's interesting because that came out with the pile that had popped before. It says, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So definitely your confidence, right? Definitely this energy of you being willing to, believe in yourself and go after the things that you want. It's interesting because on the bottom of the deck, we have discipline. It says, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. And Gemini, I do feel like there's this energy here of allowing yourself to go after your dreams. Like, there could be what's healing here is maybe you've given up on something, Gemini, or you've stopped trying, you stopped putting as much energy or effort, like you lost that motivation or that drive, okay? And that could be healing right now. There could be something that you're regaining some kind of drive to do something. Yes, because I do feel like there's this energy of you feeling like a failure in some aspect, Gemini, or that you failed in the past, okay? This could really be, I want to say, messing with your self-esteem here. It says, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn with purpose. I know what I'm here to do. Okay, so I see, Gemini. For some of you guys, there could be this energy of maybe you thought that you knew what you were here to do. You thought that you were on the right path. You thought you were making all the right decisions. And maybe you feel like you've drastically made the wrong ones, or you feel incredibly lost. Okay, I'm getting somebody like, turning around in a circle, just kind of like, where am I at? Where am I going? I don't know. Okay, yeah, like lost in this circle lost in this. There's something about that. For some of you guys with this purpose energy, you really did dedicate like years and years of your life to something, and you feel like it was all just for nothing, or it wasn't for what you thought it was going to be. Maybe it wasn't for nothing, right? Because we don't want to just like minimize everything that you've learned in certain situations, Gemini. You have learned a lot, like, and that is worth something. It's valuable, okay? But there could be this energy of like, it didn't give you the outcome or the desire, like the desirable outcome, or something that you wanted this, or you wanted that. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. That's kind of what I'm getting though. Like, you feel like you've made some really wrong decisions and you've gotten all twisted up, Gemini. And maybe this has really messed with your confidence or made you feel like, I'm not sure what direction I'm going in now, okay? And we have friendship. I told you there could be something with a connection here that you're wanting to heal, or this is just relationships in general. We know that Geminis do not have the best relationships or like the best connections sometimes. Even our family connections can be very turbulent. So it's just kind of that energy of maybe like wanting to have healthier connections, Gemini. I do find it interesting that we have like different shades of purple and violet as well, very much matching the roses. I didn't, I didn't plan it to be like that, but that's just how it happened. I do feel like there could be something here where you're wanting to have friends where you feel like you're connected on a soul level, or connections, relationships, because lovers can be friends, family can be friends, co-workers, it can be friends, I just feel like there's this energy of like wanting to have connections that elevate you and make you feel more connected to divine, or more connected to your purpose, more connected to yourself, okay? More connected to a space where you can feel more confident or more sure of yourself. With the friendship energy, it says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason, Gemini. And maybe you do feel like that, and maybe that's why you're wanting to make some kind of effort or heal something, or I don't know, that is for somebody, okay? I'm also getting this energy of like wanting that energy with people, like wanting that feeling of understanding that the people in your life are there for a reason, and they're there to help the sun shine. They're not there to bring the clouds and the hurricanes and the typhoons and motherfucking whatever else, okay? It says change. When I split the deck, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without change. But on the bottom of the deck for friendship, we had adversity. It says, I accept challenges are the best way to learn. So for some of you guys, again, you've had a lot of adversity within your connections. Okay, and maybe there could be something that's really like you're healing this now, or this is improving. So connections, relationships are improving. The overall sense of you feeling like a failure, or you've messed up drastically, Gemini, or you went off course. Some of you guys might feel like that. That's improving. The sense of drive and the motivation or the want to just do things, like, to put effort into something again, because it really could have like diminished. Like the desire to put effort, to almost where it's like pulling teeth. It's like when you're like go to work and you're like, you really don't want to go to work. Like you just want to it's like the last thing that you want to do, versus going into work, feeling positive, feeling pumped, feeling like you're going to have a good day. You know what I mean? Like you're wanting that kind of energy back. And I do feel like that's something that's increasing, or it's improving, or something like that. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like my frame's always crooked. I'm so over this. Anyways, you guys are probably like, Jessica. I realize you guys don't really care, but for me, I'm just like, why can't I have a fucking straight line? Anyways, okay. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Maybe we needed that break in the energy or something. I don't know, guys. I swear I'm gonna get it together one of these days with my angles. And that's something, okay, just back to the reading. I feel like that's something that you're trying to do, Gemini. You are trying to focus on the lighter side of life. Like you don't want to take things so damn seriously, or, maybe there is that energy of like what I just exhibited, perfectionism, like you get caught too much on the details and maybe not looking at the overall picture. Like the detail being that it's not straight and there's a little bit of a slant or a crookedness, a weirdness in the frame, but the overall picture being that it's a great message and people are going to appreciate it regardless, okay? So it's like things like that, and I feel like that's what you're trying to work on. You're trying to improve those things, Gemini. I love that I could be learning or a moving lesson for you guys. Self-esteem. It says, I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And Gemini, you do. That's the thing. I'm going to put this right here, boo. Okay? I feel like you do. I feel like you possess some kind of gift or some kind of, you have some kind of mission, Gemini, to make the world a better place. I know that sounds so cheesy, and it doesn't have to be like you're doing like all these amazing things, or you have this, you know, huge platform, or you're going out there and you're like donating thousands of dollars to charities. I mean, all these things are great, and we definitely need people who are able to do these things and willing to do these things. But there's something that you might add that's a little bit more maybe insidious. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it's almost like it's not as prevalent, but it still adds. Okay, every little bit helps, Gemini. So if you don't feel like you're doing enough, or they're giving me earthworm energy, okay, like feeling like, you know, I'm just a worm, right? I'm just a worm in the dirt. Okay, nobody notices me, nobody cares about me, I don't make any difference, I don't do anything. But then, like, actually the earthworm is incredibly valuable to the planet. Okay, so there's just that energy, like Gemini, it's the same. And, you know, I feel like actually people might see you in a different light. And not everybody can appreciate it too. And we understand that, like looking at the earthworm, for example, I can appreciate the earthworm. When I look at the earthworm, I see something that is quite valuable and kind of cute, to be honest. I don't have a problem with it. But I feel like some people, though, when they look at the earthworm, they're like, ew, oh my God, kill it, get it out of my garden, you know? And it's like that ignorance, but you're going to run across that ignorance anywhere, Gemini. It's about shining your light for the people that are truly going to value you for what you do put into situations, okay? What you do offer. And I feel like that's something that's improving here, okay? I feel like that's something that is getting better, or something that's healing for you. All right, let's pull some tarot, guys. Although I think we kind of covered it. We really, I don't know. But let's pull some tarot. Let's get some details. So what is Gemini trying? Well, I don't know if you're trying to do anything too. That's another thing. I feel like there's almost this energy of like, I try. Damn it, I just want something to work, right? It's almost like you want something to just fall into place, or you want something to kind of feel like it's in alignment. You might sometimes hear like tarot readers, myself included, talk about being in alignment all the time, but not actually feeling like anything is in alignment. I feel like there's something about looking at the bigger picture of something too, okay? And the aspect of not everything in life is going to look the way that you feel like it's going to look. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, okay? But there could be something like that of wanting this, like wanting things to be in this mystical alignment that we hear about. I'm getting like this energy of like somebody who's like really, I don't know. Maybe you were, listen, I'm going to have to call you out. Whoever's energy this is, because I'm getting the energy of somebody who's like, oh, all these promises, oh, you're going to align, you're going to ascend, you're going to have abundance, But it's like, are you in spirituality? Are you here for this, for the result? Like, for what you can gain, what you can attain? Because it's almost like then you're not looking at it from the right lens. It's like, you know, because spirit is not a vending machine where you just pop in a quarter and then it gives you something back. Like, it's a part of you. It's part of your journey. I don't know. I feel like there's some soul searching that's needing to be done if somebody is not sold on the whole spiritual thing because they're not getting the efforts or not getting the results that they want, okay? I feel like, you know, there is... And that's not for everybody. That is damn sure not for everybody watching, but that is definitely for at least somebody, at least one person, right? I get this energy of that. It's coming through very strong suddenly, and maybe in this perseverance, you know, like I don't want to keep believing in a false dream or something like that. It's almost like understanding that life is not a prize. Life is not a test that you take and then at the end you get 100, you get graded, you get some kind of reward for it. It's the journey. It's what you signed up for anyways. You're here anyways, honey. You're doing it anyways. Okay? It's like whether you're gonna believe in a higher power or not, you're still gonna struggle, right? You're still gonna feel the woes of being a human. I don't know. There's something there. There's some soul searching when it comes to that. And this could just be in a general like energy of soul searching of why do you do things, Gemini? Do you make content for the likes and for the and you know, and you guys have heard me very rarely bitch about likes and views and stuff, but it does happen. And that, you know, it's important to get feedback, to get positive feedback when you guys create something. It's true. You want to know you're doing a good job, or that your audience, your subscribers, they like what you put out. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're doing it simply, purely for that validation, oh, you know what? I'll pick this title because I know that it'll get a lot of attention, you know? Sometimes I get so sick to death of picking titles, because it's like, you're either gonna fucking watch it or you're not. I hate to sound like that, but that's just the way I look at it. You're either gonna watch this or you're not. It's gonna resonate or it's not. Right? And me going, golly, wow, Gemini, this is the most amazing reading I've ever seen. I cried, I had a baby, I had a whole fucking epiphany. Like, in the title, it's like, who cares? Because once you click to that reading and it's like, okay, this is such a clickbaity, like, I don't know, Gemini, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to go off on tangents. I just feel like it's like checking yourself sometimes, okay? Checking yourself. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting effort into this? Is it because what I want to receive, or is it because of the act of doing it? Is it because I feel passionate about doing it? Okay, that's what I'm kind of getting for somebody. And it doesn't just have to be content creating. I'm just using that because it's an example I can relate with. Okay, yeah, Ace of Cups. Again, like, are you willing to, and see, and that is the question here, right? Like, are you willing to keep working on something? Are you willing to keep putting energy and effort into something, Gemini, if it's not giving you the results that you want? It's totally okay if you want to walk away, right? If you want to stop doing something or stop putting in energy because maybe it's not what you thought it would be. But there's this energy of like, are you giving to this for the right reasons, or are you making sure that you're giving this to yourself in a proper way? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Also, this is 9 cups, so this is wish fulfillment. And sometimes, you know, it's part of life is seeing that you have to go on this journey, or it is hard, or, you know, I'm just kind of getting the energy of disappointment here. Like a little bit of disappointment because maybe something didn't happen the way that you wanted, or wish fulfillment didn't come through, and you followed all the rules, you did everything that you were supposed to do. And that's why I have to ask, why were you doing this? Were you doing it? And again, I don't know, because it's a case-by-case basis, guys. So this is a general message. Okay, it's a general message. But I do feel like there is this energy of wanting to give to yourself more, okay? Like wanting to do things from an authentic space. Like this could be something that awakens something within you. Like maybe you're like, you know what? You're right. I was doing this because I wanted to get views. Like maybe you do, like, I don't know, guys, okay? I'm so like bad at coming up with examples on the fly sometimes, but maybe there is a certain kind of, like, let's just use content creating. Let's keep rolling with that, okay? Maybe there is a certain kind of content that you create, all right? But what you really want to do is like food mukbangs or something, right? But you're afraid of what people will think. You're up there stuffing your face like a pig, right? And it's like you're like afraid of what people will think if you make this transition, okay? So maybe you're like, this is what it is. You don't have the energy to put into this anymore. You don't want to put into making this content because really your passion lies elsewhere. So if you were to feed yourself, no pun intended, but to feed yourself, feed your own energy and put in to what you actually do want to do, you might see that this actually brings you this wish fulfillment. It brings you this abundance. So that is for somebody. Like if you're doing something your heart's not in it, it's like, feed where your heart is into, because that's actually going to lead to this wish fulfillment, okay? All right, let's get off of that because I don't want to sit here and just keep going and going like the damn Energizer Bunny, all right? I do feel like there is going to have to be some work or effort that's put into something, but you will get there, okay? I do feel that. All right, so let's see. Self-esteem with this failure, Gemini. What about this is healing for Gemini? What about this self? Oh, we have the King of Wands coming out with the High Priestess in reverse. Oh yeah, some of you guys definitely feel like you have not made the right decisions in certain areas of your life. But the High Priestess reverse and the King of Wands is like, I fucked up confidently. Like it's like that kind of energy. Like it's like I confidently and very assuredly made the wrong decision. Like, I was so damn sure of myself. Like, you know, this is like investing all of your resources, really feeling like down for this, like, and just feeling like your intuition led you completely awry. Okay. But again, it's almost like, and I'm not trying to patronize people, but it's just, this is what comes down from spirit. And this is kind of how I look at things too. So if you guys want to peep into my mind, like, this is literally how I look at things. I would beg to differ though. Was that actually the wrong choice? Because sometimes the experience is valuable. Maybe you needed to experience feeling like you made the completely wrong decision. So that way you can really choose, you can really depend on yourself. I don't know, for me personally, when I've failed in certain things, it's made me stronger in the end, because it's made me want to try harder. It's made me want to evolve, refine myself. Okay. So there could be something here where it's like your failures can be your drives too. Okay, like that can lead you to. But I do feel like you guys feel like you confidently made the wrong decision. Like you were very sure of yourself and it wasn't right. At least, and I feel like it wasn't right in the aspect that you didn't get the result that you wanted to get. Okay, that's why you consider it not right. That's why you consider it a failure. But what Spirit is saying here is that I understand the mistake is only an opportunity to learn. There is no such thing as failure, because you're learning something through that failure. So there is no such thing as failure. That's what I'm saying, and that's the perspective. Like, there's no such thing as failure if everything is a learning experience. If everything teaches you something. If everything shows you an experience, or it reaffirms an experience too. Because sometimes you can know that you're very strong, but unless you have to go into the dirt, into the pit, and then climb yourself out, you're not experiencing your own strength. And again, I understand some of you guys, it's like, I don't fucking care about experiencing my own strength. I get it. But you know, you're here with me in my house. So this is how we are, okay? But there's that kind of energy here with the King of Wands and the High Priestess. So I don't know, it's like learning to trust your gut in a little bit better, because I do feel like maybe, I don't know, if you do feel like you really did make the wrong intuitive decision, Gemini, it's like maybe learning how to trust your intuition more, or depend on your intuition more. Because maybe there was something like you thought you were listening to your intuition, but really you were listening to your ego. That could be for some of you guys. Like, I thought this was the right way to play this, but it definitely wasn't, and now it's caused me a failure. And some of this could have been like your actions could have been very like on the defense. Okay, so almost like feeling like you have to make up for something because you feel like you could fail anyways. Like there was already going into this a lack of self-esteem, and that's why you made, like, that lack of self-esteem was actually what was fueling the decision. Okay, or the actions that you were taking. So it wasn't actually your intuition that you were listening to, it was your ego. So that is just for somebody. I'm kind of getting that energy here. But Pisces energy, Virgo energy coming through. I'm also getting Leo energy with this King of Wands. And of course the Sun. So what's healing in regards to Gemini's self-esteem? I want to pull on that too. Okay, this popped out immediately. You're learning to be more patient. There's also something about like not having these hair trigger reactions, and this is something that I've dealt with, and I probably still do deal with, like, to this very day, is like when something doesn't come through immediately, you instantly feel rejected, right? That can be something that oh my gosh, like, oh God, are we going to be vulnerable and, and transparent here when it comes to this? But that can be something that I deal with, like, with love and, like, relationships. Like, if I don't get a text back within a certain amount of time, and I'm not talking about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm not talking about that. I'm not like an hour or two. If I don't get a text back, I instantly feel like you've moved on with some other bitch, you're done. It's best I move on too. Like... And it's like, and it is linked to that low self-esteem. It's linked to that. And I know that. And that's why, that's one of the things that I try to work on myself with. Okay. But this could just be an overall general energy for you, Gemini. Like, you know, like if something doesn't, if you don't get the results immediately, or whatever your version of immediately is for the situation, you're like instantly like, oh, this is a failure. This is a scrap. This is no good. This isn't right. This isn't cut out. I'm not cut out for it. It's like negative thoughts, and almost like allowing yourself to reinforce those thoughts too, like negative reinforcing negative thoughts basically is the energy that I'm getting, and it turns into this vicious cycle. You know, only giving yourself so much of a time, like giving an impossible deadline, an impossible expectation, and then being like, okay, well, it didn't work, scrap it, it's done, it's a failure, and then just continuing the loop all over again, reinforcing that thought that, see, I'm a failure, see, nothing works out, see, they were never interested anyways, see, I was never going to get that call back. It's like, you know, it's that, okay? And I do feel like this is improving again, because this is what this reading is about. It's not just me lecturing you, I promise. But there's this energy of like, this is what's improving, okay, in your life, is being able to see these cycles so then you can squash them with yourself, because self-awareness is so valuable, right? When you see where you're at, when you pull your own red flags, when you're like, whoa, why did we react like that? Or whoa, why did we feel this way? Or whoa, we're doing that thing again that we told ourselves that we weren't going to do, and holding yourself accountable. That's how these cycles break. But there is something with your intuition. I don't know if you were following it, you weren't following it. You know, I don't know what the fuck was happening, Gemini, but it almost feels like your confidence regardless was kind of, that was or the lack of confidence, excuse me, what was leading this. If I could get the sentence out. Okay. I'm like, what? Okay. Friendship, what is this that's healing for Gemini? What is this? Let me get something to drink real quick. Okay. Four of Cups. Oh, excuse me. Four of Wands, I mean. So harmony, balance, you know. I don't know why I feel like pulling reversals, but I kind of do today. So 10 of Swords with the Magician. Yeah, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Some of you guys do feel like, just with, you know, this is connections in general is what I'm getting. For some of you, yes, this could be relating to one particular person in your life right now. And again, this is friendship, romance, family, co-worker, right? Whoever. But some of you guys do feel like you constantly are meeting people that are reinforcing negative feelings that you have about yourself and about life in general too, okay? And so these are just, again, more cycles that you're trying to work through, more cycles that you're trying to recognize. Some of you guys feel like you've been betrayed a lot. Even if you're cognizant enough, like you're aware and woke enough to realize that and understand that the person wasn't trying to betray you, Gemini. Because I feel like some of you guys just naturally feel, like you organically feel betrayed sometimes. And again, this can round back to your own sense of self-esteem and failure. Okay? But I am getting that, like, there's a lot of betrayal, Gemini. Like, you feel like you've been betrayed a lot in connections. And again, this is family, friends, lovers. Sometimes it might even feel like it's always a betrayal. Like, that's inevitable. That's where it always ends up. That's where it always leads. So when you feel like the first sword, you don't even let it get to the second or the third or the fourth, right? It's like the first little, like, cut is enough. And maybe that's something that you're trying to work on. I'm not trying to say you're trying to give people chances to put in all 10 swords, but it's almost like, you know, I don't know, not trying to operate from these old wounds, Gemini, because it feels like that's a pattern that we're seeing in this reading, is really trying hard not to operate through these old wounds and through the things that have happened before. Like, not everybody, some people can cut you, and it's true, Gemini, like some people can hurt you, but it doesn't mean that they're always gonna hurt you, or that was their full intention, or that's their personality, or that's what this is. Like, I don't know, it's being very cutthroat too. And I know that's a Gemini thing, guys. You know, it is. It's a Gemini thing to be very cutthroat, be checking for them red flags. Because at the end of the day, we just want peace. At the end of the day, we just want harmony. You know, we just want something that we never really felt before. It feels like for a lot of us. Damn. Sorry, guys. But that's what I'm getting. It feels like, you know, and that, listen, make sure you can provide it, Gemini. Honey, you know I love you, right? But I'm just saying, because this is a healing reading, so we're giving healing messages here. Make sure that you can provide what you're asking for, right? You want a safe, and you want a loving, and you want a giving connection. Can you provide that? Are you safe? Are you loving? Are you giving? And be honest with yourself. And if you don't feel like you are right now, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be where you're at right now. But it also is okay to recognize that and then start working on giving that to yourself. Being safe with yourself, being kind with yourself, being giving, being loving with yourself. And some of this might look like walking away or pulling red flags or listening to your intuition or taking chances or having to say goodbye to certain energies. So that way that you can safely say, yes, this is something that I can provide. I can provide safety. I can provide love. I can provide reciprocity. And I'm willing to. Right? It's like, maybe that's when you're going to see more of that, or maybe that's when you're going to be able to be accepting of that. Because some of you guys, there have been opportunities to have that, but maybe you haven't been accepting of that because that's not what you're seeing for yourself, or that's not what you're feeding yourself. You know? Some of you guys with your connections too, it might always feel like it's a cat and mouse game, or always might feel like there's some kind of runner chaser dynamic. And maybe this comes to, back to your childhood. Maybe you always felt like you had to be validated through your parents, like, or through your caregivers of like what your grades were like, how clean your room was, and how silent you could be, and not in the way, right? Or whatever, Gemini, you know how it is. Like, you live up to your parents' expectations or society's expectations, okay? And that causes that energy of feeling like, well, if somebody comes in and they give me their love freely, then there's something wrong with it, because I've always been taught that I have to work for my love. I have to work for, approval, basically. So if somebody comes in and they approve of me and all of my flaws and they accept me for who I am, like, what the fuck? Because I don't even accept myself for who I am. So, and that's not a very safe and loving and giving environment for the person that's coming in, right? So again, this is the energy that I'm getting here. And I feel like this is improving, this is healing. But for some of you, these messages are things that is like awakening now. Like you're seeing now, like these are things I need to work on. Others of you, you're advanced, you're beyond this. I mean, we gotta take it as it resonates, right? That's just kind of what I'm getting. All right, guys, let's get some more out here. Let's friendship. Let's get another one. Ooh, it's chilly in here. I'm like shivering. Oof. This friendship. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Big cycle cleansings and closing out these things, these old patterns. And it could be patterns within yourself. And a lot of this is centered around equal give and take. Gemini, you're either giving too much or you're not giving enough, right? There's got to be a balance here. But are you giving that to yourself? Are you giving your, this love and this attention and this healing to yourself in a balanced way? Or are you up some days and you're down some days with how you love yourself, how you talk to yourself? It all starts within. It all starts within. If you don't believe in yourself, how can anybody else believe in you? If you don't find yourself attractive, how can anybody else find you attractive, right? I don't know, Gemini. Okay? That's just what I'm getting. Let's see what we have, okay? Additional messages and advice, perhaps. But yeah, we'll just see, okay? Additional messages for Gemini. I feel like this is healing, though. I don't want to leave you guys on like this note of like, I have all this work to do. I feel like these are things that you're actively working on now. I feel like these are things that you're noticing. You're being more self-aware, right? It's like you're seeing that, I'm not in a space that I really feel connected to. I'm giving to things I really don't want to. I want to start giving to myself or giving to my passions more authentically. Or maybe I've made decisions in the past that were made out of low self-esteem or not believing in myself enough, and so they were flawed. Or maybe there was no such thing as failure and everything had a lesson or an experience attached to it, and it's a win-win outcome either way, right? Also, connections, they haven't been so great, but has my connection to myself been great? Okay? So there's things that you're learning, you're seeing, okay? All right, what do we have here for Gemini, please? I trust in my gifts, Gemini. And that could be something here too, like maybe you're giving to something that feels very worldly, very generic, very like this is, again, not really aligned with what I want to do or who I feel I am inside, but maybe you feel like that isn't aligned with the world that you live in, and it's not going to provide for you or be feasible or be realistic, okay? But what Spirit is saying is to trust in the gifts that it's given you. Trust that your gifts will be able to help you manifest in a positive way. Your sensitivity is a gift, Gemini. Takes a lot of strength. Look at how that matches. I'm like, that was trippy for a second, but it takes a lot of strength for you to be vulnerable, okay? To be who you are, to let your light shine, even though everything in the world has told you it would be okay to dim it. And sometimes it might feel like shit to care, or to, you know, still be willing to help people where they weren't willing to help you, or still see the benefit of the doubt in people where they weren't willing to see that in you. Like, yeah, it can really hurt, but it's also a superpower, because there's a lot of cold ass, like the world, like I feel like it's so easy to turn into a cold son of a bitch in this world. Like, it really is. It's so fucking easy. That's why I know you're strong if you're sensitive. That's why I know you're strong if you're still positive and what people would call naive and all of this shit. Like, that's how I know you're strong, because it's so fucking easy to get bitter here. So cherish that energy that you have in you that allows you to be sensitive, allows you to have that childlike exuberance for life. And you know what? Pull back. Honor yourself when you need to. Put up those boundaries when you need to, okay? But never dim your light. You know, never change yourself. You are not alone, Gemini. Right? I feel like there could be that energy too. Like with this friendship stuff, it's like, I do feel like I'm alone. I don't feel like I'm going to meet anybody that's like me, or meet people that are like-minded, or that are going to understand me for who I am, or look past my flaws, or look past some of the masks that I feel like I have to wear, or defense mechanisms that I've put up. Like, you know, I don't know. But I do feel like, on just a personal note too, from Spirit to you, Gemini, you're not alone. Like, if you don't feel as connected as you'd like to with Spirit, Spirit would love to connect with you, but from an authentic space, okay? Enter this connection the same way that you're being asked to enter your human connections. I'm asking you to enter your human connections in the aspect of, I just want to get to know you. I'm not expecting anything from you, right? So that's how Spirit wants you to approach it. I just want to get to know you, Spirit, and I'm not expecting you to save my fucking life or give me $1 million. Okay? All right, what else do we have here for Gemini? Oh, okay, that's going to be it. Shift your perspective and let your inner fire warm you, not burn you, Gemini. Wow, that's the first time I've seen that card. It is about like controlling things, you know, and even with this shifter perspective, if this card looks really like chaotic and almost all over the place a little bit too. So there could be something about that, like learning to control your gifts, learning to kind of work with the ebb and flow, and, you know, not letting it take over you. I don't know, Gemini. That has been your reading, though. I am going to go ahead and end it here, okay? So I hope that reading helps. I hope it resonates. I hope it does something, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.